Here I am. I'm 5 years old at our summer cottage, which is in western part of Finland. There's a short boat trip to the island, and it's a very relaxed place. And when I was a little girl, I was learning by experimenting. I was exploring, and here I am fishing at our summer cottage. This is very typical in Finland. There are 5.5 million people and 500,000 summer cottages around the country. So we are a small country, but we have a lot of summer cottages where children can relax and spend their time during summer months. When I was 7, I went to school. Most of the children, they go to school at the age of 7. And here I'm 5 years old. And can you believe it that while other children were working hard around the world, I was just playing. And when I was 9, I started studying English. So I was I was 9 already when I took my first English lessons. And I had taken 2 lessons, and immediately I started the school in the middle of Finnish forest for neighborhood children. So there must be some kind of teacher inside me, although I'm not a teacher. Finland has been ranked as the happiest nation in the world, and the source is United Nations World Happiness Report. It's cold, it's dark, so we Finns don't quite understand what are the reasons for this. It may be that people feel that they have freedom to choose their own life path. And of course, the gross domestic product per capita is one of the highest in the world. But there must be something else as well, right? So there must be education system that is behind all this happiness. How many of you know where Finland is? A few hands. So let me just tell a bit about Finland, where I'm coming from. It's up north, it's between Sweden and Russia. So we are in isolation. And of course it's kind of miracle that we have the top ranking education in the world. So we are a bit confused about that. A few things about Finnish education, how it works. Education philosophy is based on free education for all. And okay, this is going quite fast, my presentation, but let me just, there was a picture of Finnish 1st of May party, and students, they wear white caps when they graduate from high school. And it's a big carnival, and also students wear overalls, so you can see what they are studying. So, for example, people with white overalls, so they are medical students, and people with red overalls, they study engineering. And they are having a lot of fun. And about the studies, so if you want to become a teacher in Finland, so roughly 10% get in to study. So it is quite difficult to get in. My daughter, she's wearing purple overalls and she's studying law, and there 4% of the applicants get in to study law in Finland. But the university studies are fairly relaxed, so once you get in, it's very normal to stay there for a longer time, so you don't get kicked out, but you can take your courses as many times as you like. Finland is known for PISA. So PISA is an international assessment that's done for 15-year-olds. And it's measuring their ability to use science and math and literacy skills to solve challenging problems. And so Finland's productivity compared to time at school is highest in the world. And so what's the reason for this? This we don't really know, but we can tell that actually Finnish children, they spend about 20 hours per week at school. School day can be as short as 3 hours. And there's hardly any homework. So homework can be like less than 30 minutes if there is any. Well, can the closest school be always the best school? Well, we have seen from PISA results that yes, it can be. All schools in Finland are public schools. There are some private early childhood education schools, but mainly it's public school and at very high level in all schools. So there aren't great differences between schools, really. Finns believe in breaks and free play. At schools, there's 15-minute break between every lesson, and children, they are encouraged to socially interact, play with their friends, exercise, and of course the time is also used moving between the classes. And children are instructed to have maximum 2 hours exercise per day, instructed exercise. Okay, I suggest that we have our own break now. So let's do a short exercise. Everybody, please stand up. Let's see if this video works. Okay, now it starts. this company, we had a Rotary Startup Challenge competition in Finland, and this company won the competition a few years back. So we really believe in exercise, and because it helps your brains to work better, and after that you are able to work better, just like we do with our children in Finland. About digital well-being, so ICT is an important part of the Finnish national core curricula. There's a high usage of devices, but rather than talking about devices, we like to talk about content, that to make sure that the content is educational and motivational. And also we are as worried about, like every parent is, about screen time. So we would like to limit our children's screen time maximum 2 hours per day in Finland. And nowadays parents can control how much their children use devices, what applications they download, and how much time they spend with their devices. So it's also a balance about feeling good, exercise, breaks, and then learning. Teamwork is highly appreciated in Finland, and when they use devices, so they do something useful with those devices. Okay, let's talk about 21st century skills. I recently attended a conference in London, and they talked a lot about so-called STEAM education. But what is missing usually is the art part, and in Finland we put high emphasis on art skills. And also collaboration skills are important, that children and young people, they work together to achieve goals. Phenomenal learning is very typical in Finland, and let me just shortly explain it. It's a bit difficult word. It means that actually instead of just teaching science or just teaching math, you are combining different subjects, and you are encouraging children to find phenomena. For example, migration of birds. You would probably study about geography, biology of birds, and maybe use mathematics to count the birds. So this type of learning method is currently used in Finnish schools. We are not only using this one, we are still teaching math and so on, but we are on top of that encouraging children to explore and to discover things. And instead of teaching, we use the word learning. We are not only preparing our children for career or for working life, we are teaching or encouraging them to find a future life. So we talk about life skills in Finland. It's important to be happy, and that's why I like the mantra here at the Rotary Conference. Happiness is the most important thing. All right. Next, here we have high school students from upper secondary school in Kauniainen, Finland. We are bridging the gap between upper secondary school and future working life and universities and future life in general. We are not teaching our young children communications or entrepreneurships only, but we are encouraging them to discover and maybe establish their own company. Like in Kauniainen High School, we actually have real companies established by students. So they learn entrepreneurial skills by experimenting. And the same with communications. So they learn to communicate by experimenting when they establish a company. They learn maybe accounting skills, they learn marketing skills, sales, and so on. School as a service is what we have in the city of Espoo, which is close to Helsinki. Instead of thinking school as only a school building, for example, my son is going to a high school, and his school, they only have like one small school building, but everything happens outside the school building. So actually there's a nearby university, so you can take courses from the university actually. And then you can use laboratories when you have science class. So you cooperate with the local laboratory, and they can do exercises there. And then your school buildings may have mental spaces. So we have developed new kind of models, and we are now exporting these learning models also to other countries. And there's high interest in this new kind of approach, because like I said, the world is changing, so new kind of skills are needed. And of course, school as a service also allows sharing of resources. So, and that's also cost effective. It's quite amazing when I went to the school to see actually what could be done there. Our students were very engaged, they were very excited about contributing. So instead of just going there to teach about entrepreneurship or how to find their future career, we involved the students so they could actually participate, and they enjoyed it very much because they had a feeling that their ideas matter and they are important. And they developed actually the whole student brand for their own company and for the school. So I was kind of like facilitating the process with the city of Kauniainen and encouraging them and telling them that they are good and they have their strengths. And so we also exercised, we had a strength-based exercise there at the school. And because every student is important and everyone has strengths. So it's just about finding those strengths. Okay, this is in Finnish, but it is a drawing, so what we did at the school. So there you have a little school building, but then you have all kinds of activities around going on. So there you have startups, and there you have these strengths and the attitude and excitement and all kind of elements they had there. And we even developed a business school for this high school, so that where they learn basic things about entrepreneurship. And on the left-hand side, so you see little hearts and you see students. So these are the students when they come to school. So we develop the brand for the school and to encourage students to apply. And then when they get out, so they are happy and they have their backpacks full of self-confidence. We talk about self-confidence very much, more than math or science skills. So it's important that students have a feeling of belonging and self-confidence as well. Here we have some of the activities. So here are on the left-hand side, students developing the brand with their computers. They had great ideas, and they designed this Graniworks brand that is their own company at the high school. and they do assignments for companies. So this is all, this was part of Finnish national core curricula to build entrepreneurship and working life connections to high school. And we invited company representatives. On the right-hand side, you actually have this cuckoo workout that inspired you today. So they came to the school and children were very excited about doing the exercises, and there were all kinds of companies. We invited them to school to talk. Our teachers are very respected and educated. All teachers in Finland have master's degree. So they have university degrees, and there's a lot of high knowledge, and that could be also one reason for the education success. And even in early childhood education, teachers have a master's degree. And school culture is quite informal in Finland. And teachers, they even participate in national core curricular development. So we really involve teachers in all kinds of development. And here you can see teacher in front of the class, but rather than teaching, she's actually facilitating. We think that teachers are facilitators, and we give freedom for students to learn. Next. Okay, this is quite a nice picture. So for a fair selection, everybody has to take the same exam. Please climb that tree. And there you have elephant and monkey and a fish and so on. So we don't have standardized tests in Finland. We don't believe in standardized testing. And only actually in high school you have standardized testing. We want to encourage every individual, so we believe in individual learning. And we think that every individual is unique also. So instead of multiple choice questions, you would have like open-ended and creative assessment system. And teachers can decide whether they want to give numbers or whether they want to use some other assessment method up to 8th grade, which is still, then they are like 15 years old. And now there's new legislation, so it's changing a bit, so numbers are coming earlier. And when I was young, we only had numbers, but it's not anymore like that. And think about the 21st century skills. If you have creativity, you have problem solving, and you need to be able to implement information. If you have taken standardized testing your whole life, how are you going to handle the challenges you are facing later on in your life? In working life and everywhere. So this has worked for Finland, at least. And yes, okay. Here we have a typical situation. We have Finnish students. They are probably walking from school to their home. So schools are so near, close by, that they usually walk, or then they ski during winter time, or even bicycle. There can be a lot of snow, and they can, in some cities, they bicycle whole year through. And schools are never closed, although there are snowstorms, so schools never close in Finland. I don't remember that kind of situation. We talk about Finnish sisu, the guts kind of that we are, we whatever the weather is, we go to school. And maybe there's something behind that we value the school as an institute as well so much. And if you look at the backpacks, so backpacks are usually very light because there's not really homework, or if there is, so very little. So they don't carry heavy backpacks in Finland. And it's very safe, the environment, so even early learning, so even children when they are like first grade or second grade, yes, so they actually walk to school alone or with their friends. Just a quick word about rankings, and we don't exercise school rankings, and we don't like to, although I saw you PISA results, that we are very top performers, so we don't really like the comparisons because we don't differentiate between excellent students and poor students because we believe that every individual is important. So there's Finnish modesty, so in this that we don't really highlight. All other people around the world highlight how good we are, but we don't really exercise that in Finland, that we like to compare us to other countries. This is the system that works for our country. Of course, it's nice if there are some elements that could be implemented in other countries. These are the basic principles we believe in, very typical: learning for life and joy of learning. There needs to be joy of learning, otherwise it's not motivational. And development as a human being and citizen is the main goal. Instead of school, you see school building here, that's taken in Espoo, but instead of school building, we want to talk what's happening outside the school building. And also that what kind of quality you have inside in your teaching inside the school building. So it's not just only about premises. And let's just take a look at a short video from Finland.